Good day. This is John Armwood here on the Armwood Opinion Channel. And this Friday, I'm going to be discussing the events that have occurred this week. And in particular, the announcement today that there's a new plea deal with Trump's former personal lawyer, Cohen, in which he acknowledges, as did Manafort earlier in the week, that they lied to the office of Robert Mueller. And in fact, Manafort lied before Congress. What does this mean? This means that, number one, we have now hard evidence that Donald Trump knew about the deal with the Russians to get information on Hillary Clinton, and that he was talking with the Russians past the time that he was campaigning for the presidency, that he had started campaigning for the presidency. Information that he and his people had lied about repeatedly before. We have now information which substantiates the claims of conspiracy or collusion, whichever you want to call it. Conspiracy is the actual crime. And we may have evidence, and it appears that we may have evidence of treason. Donald Trump has been in trouble. I've been saying this for a long time. Donald Trump is in trouble. I don't think and I've been saying this from the beginning, that he's going to finish out his presidency in office. When Mueller's report comes out, I think Republicans in the Senate are going to have to make a decision whether they want to throw him overboard or stick with him and go down with him in 2020. This is going to be a major decision. I suspect that that a significant number of them will throw him overboard. And the reason is that the evidence will be so overwhelming. So far, we've seen cowardice on the part of the Democratic leadership. And I've supported keeping Pelosi in office in the House because she knows the ropes. She knows how to win. She's overly cautious for me. But I'm pragmatic. And I think that she is the one, and has been the one, who has the experience to maneuver our way through. I think we need to pressure her. I think that Maxine Waters is the one that's had the clearest vision. And I'm really thankful that Chris Matthews on MSNBC has consistently been having her on as a guest on his show. Because Chris, I really think, understands what's going on here, as does Maxine Waters. The idea of the Democratic Party gaining back Middle America, to me, is so foolish and shows such a lack of understanding of American politics that when I hear Democrats talk about it, I have to turn the TV off, because it's just pure ignorance. This has been going on since 1980, since the election in which Ronald Reagan defeated Jimmy Carter. We saw this happen back starting in 1876 with the Tilden Hayes election, where it was the opposite way, where the conservatives were the Democrats, and the Republicans started losing their lock on national politics. And when we went through the populist movement, and eventually, as the century turned, we saw what happened. So the right wing took over. And we've seen it since Reagan. We, as a people, we have a different agenda. We have to protect our interests. We have to understand that liberals are sometimes allies. Sometimes allies. When their interests align with ours, they will be our allies. But they will abandon us in a heartbeat. And they have done it. We saw what happened with DACA. And where Chuck Where's the Camera Schumer lied to those young people. And I know many of them. Just lied to their face, saying we're going to keep the government shut down. But the minute some potential Democratic Senate candidates complained, he abandoned them. This is very instructive. This is how they will treat us. So we need to learn how to treat them. Chuck Schumer needs to be put out of office. He's very popular in New York because he's gotten involved with the unions and other people to get himself pretty secure. And that's unfortunate because he really needs to go. We need a more liberal senator who's more locked in with the more progressive elements of the Democratic leadership, both in New York and across the nation. We saw what happened here in Georgia with the gubernatorial race through pure, open, blatant voter suppression. This is America. Wake up, folks. This is America. This is not an aberration. This is not unusual. Remember, people of color have only been able to vote across this nation for a little over 55 years, between 1776 and 2018. The Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965. America has stopped us from voting. They gave my grandfather, who was vice president of Florida A&M, and had a postgraduate education, Latin to read to keep him from voting. My parents, who prior to World War II were, part of the 7% of the United States with college education, they were not allowed to vote. This is America. This is not an aberration. We have to understand that they are pushing back in that direction. Those people who were thrown off the bus in Georgia, that is not an aberration. That's as American as apple pie, as pumpkin pie, as the song God Bless America. You gotta understand, America has not been a fair or a good nation. America has been an imperial power, and a power based upon white privilege. Look at what's going on with the people coming up from Central America. Understand that during the 70s and 80s, the United States, under the Reagan administration, sponsored wars which destabilized that region to the point where it is still unstable, I should say, today. America was involved in that. And then we have Trump sending troops to the border to keep these people out. This is pure evil. Trump is pure evil. Our goal should be to see Trump in an orange suit within the next year, in jail. Impeach him, charge him with the crimes that he's committed, and throw his dumb behind, and yes, I said dumb, his dumb behind in jail, because he is dumb. Throw him in jail. That's where he belongs. Yes, there are a lot of deplorables, as Hillary accurately put, who supported him, just like they supported Nixon. Rachel Maddow did a nice thing yesterday comparing the crimes of Nixon with the crimes of Trump and how much more we know at this point of Trump's crimes. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. What I'm saying is we have to fight. We have to be aware. We have to put pressure on Democratic legislators to not take a mealy-mouthed stance and say, oh, we can't go and fight for impeachment because it might hurt us with the voters. We have to build support for impeachment based on the facts. Maxine Waters has it right. The Democratic leadership has it wrong. So we need to fight. And as I say, resistance is not futile, and the struggle continues. Have a good day. And hit the like button if you like. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back on soon.